games because we are going to be going into this match. I think like if a veto comes up where as of yesterday, what was it? Zero maps played of Cash and Cobble.
Oh yeah,
and that's two of the 3 maps that we see.
No, they had played the one Cobble. They lost,
yeah, and then they had not played Cash at all. So yeah, definitely a little bit more of a sort of interesting map pool from them. And interestingly, the map that they picked was not one of the ones that they played regularly. It was actually train picked by their opponents. That was the one that's been played more. It's a weird one.
Yeah, I mean, I had the, I wouldn't say pleasure of playing forZe on train. That was when you had that guy called XC Power, and he's also an AWP, and he's actually, I mean, not half bad. So facing the double AWP setup of XC Power and Little when they played CT was actually really hard not to crack. But they don't have that now. They have Scooby, and he didn't seem nearly as confident on the AWP and not nearly as good at playing AWP as XC Power. So I'm thinking that train might be pretty hard for them. I think most of the matches they won would be ones where they've been playing the double AWP setup because it is so goddamn powerful on train. But let's get on into it. Mo going to be updating info here in mid, but instantly gets removed by Little. Now Doja with a tasty one-tap onto Sviat as Seized comes around with the rotation. Actually, a hard rotation here with 3 players stacked towards the A-bomb site now.
Yeah, we've seen quite a lot of these in the pistol rounds. Just Gamble stacking A, just not wanting to have like a retake scenario. And obviously Hobbit being so aggressive actually helps out quite significantly. He can spot over towards that plat position. The rotation is already coming back in from the T side, so more than happy to try and challenge Hobbit here. And he should find the info fairly soon. Already we spot Adrian making his way back towards this B site, but Hobbit is unable to connect the shots initially, but he's just staying alive. And that's, if anything, more annoying for this T side, as they will have to wonder whether it's worth falling back. But FaceCrack taking control of drop. Hobbit now has to make some sort of play to try and help out the remainder of his teammates. And the fact is, forZe, they're still not actually dedicated to this side just yet. They're making their way back towards A. FaceCrack's still going to be here, gets himself a second kill and looks to continue forward. Dosia is around the corner, but he's going to manage to just get in the backlines onto Hobbit, and that's pretty much round done. Dosia has to ace this if he's going to want to turn things around, and brilliant pistol round from FaceCrack. Little will even close it in the end.
I think the first part of that round is actually horrendous for forZe. They get the entry frag, then Sviat gets taken down by Doja, and that's alright. But then they use their only smoke in the doors of A, when the CTs have all the info down mid and all the info on A long. In that situation, it causes no rotations and it keeps no rotations, right? So that was a huge problem for them. Then they went to B plat, but luckily Hobbit couldn't take out any of the players, and because of that, FaceCrack got so much space to work with in drop, and then they could decide late, since FaceCrack got yet another opening where they wanted to go, and it looked like a solid mid-round call to go back to B, and yeah, FaceCrack just caught all the timings and hit some pretty nice headshots. So with that, he pretty much single-handedly won them that round, even though it looked, yeah, a bit worrying at the start.
I don't like the look of this buy from forZe. I just thought this looks so risky. 3 SMGs, obviously Little, it looks like he's saving for an AWP already.
But he doesn't even need head armor.
Yeah, that's crazy. Like versus the pistols, FaceCrack will start things off once again. Little going to be tagged slightly, but CT side are rotating in. Jerry actually going to take down his teammate, and a lot of damage has already been done. Now you have to note that the scout's still in play, and a quick couple of kills already coming back in. I said I didn't like it, and there's a pretty damn good reason for it. Little now left with only the pistol, and yeah, I didn't like the buy at the beginning. I definitely don't like it now.
Yeah, I mean, that definitely didn't work out as intended. It's pretty unlucky as well. Like, Jerry kills his teammate, then gets flashed by his teammates. I think that was his own fault, but then he gets killed from behind and everything. I think if, you know, things didn't go so poorly, they would have still won the round. Even though I think the buy is actually, I mean, obviously not the best, but
I think it's high risk, though.
It's high risk, right? FaceCrack gets the entry with the AK. He can battle the long ranges, and then the SMGs need to just get up close and personal. But it's.
I think you do those sort of buys versus a team that is not Gambit. Like when you're, I just look at this and think, okay, forZe, you need to play things safe. You need to basically win round, like you need to make sure you win those follow-up rounds because you want to get off to a strong start. You don't want to give Gambit away back into the game, and I just feel like that bye was one where you were playing with fire anyway. Why give them that extra little bit of timber to get things going?
Yeah, for sure. It's quite interesting how many second round wins we've seen in this tournament so far. I mean, not entirely sure if it's just the teams at this event that are horrendous at playing second rounds or incredible at playing second rounds with pistols, or if it's just the pistols being in a place in the game right now where it's maybe slightly overpowered. But a 6-shot from Little somehow actually wins that duel, throws the flash, does not blind the player that's close, but still somehow manages to win the duel. And now Jerry, if he catches the right timing here, he's going to be facing off against Doja. If he wins that, they've got all the map control on A, and he's just patiently waiting. Oh my god, a really unlucky timing for Doja, who wants to swing out wide just as Jerry comes peeking. Now instead, Mo. Ooh. Fluffs his chance there, and does it once again as well. Now he's dropped low. Does eventually get the kill, and with Adrian picking up 2 as well. This should be the round. Seized and Mo, both low. That's a nice rhyme, to be honest. And yeah, Little in a 1 versus 3. A tough one, but if he finds Adrian... Oh yeah, it's actually even true. Didn't even pay attention to the time, but...
It would have been a crazy clutch if you managed to kill all 3 players in 7 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2-1 Gambit have managed to bounce back after the pistol loss. And yeah, this is the sort of situation that forZe would not want to be in this early in the game. They're going to be on an eco. As you said yesterday, it's basically as if the Gambit just won the pistol, really.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's just...
Plus a couple of AKs.
Yeah, that's actually true. But, I mean, as Dust also mentioned, I think CS is actually probably the best drop zone player I've ever faced on Cobo. At least in practice. I haven't faced them on Cobo in officials. But I'm expecting good things from him. If not, I'm going to just call him an onliner. I mean,
Was it an onliner if they don't do it in official online matches?
Yeah, well, I haven't watched Gambit play Cobo in officials. I don't know if he's good. But I can just say in practice, this guy, it's mostly on the T side, but it's, I mean, he's just insane at finding the right timings, and he's like a real nuisance to play against. But yeah, I mean, so far he's had a pretty good start. I think he's up to 4 kills already.
Well, he was the main reason they won that second round.
Yeah, he got like 3 kills. Yeah.
Got the AK as well.
Yeah, and got the last kill with it as well.
Yes.
So
decent start for forZe. Now in this round, of course, there's not really much invested. This is all going to come down to just trying to do a bit of damage, get a bomb plant. That's the main aim, and it could be a great chance to actually just farm up some cash. Hobbit, decent position from him, but he will go down. However, Adren just going to be playing at range. Dosia light-footed jumping around, and it will only be 1 man lost. The MP9 falls to the floor, and now we get to see the T's actually with the buyback up, and I'll be interested to see will Little just go for his classic sort of glass cannon AWP. Well, we actually did see him with a rifle going into, what was it, round number 3?
Yeah, and he's actually picking it up again here. I know Rixo from Tricked, I don't know if it's still the case, but it used to be the case that he never played up on T-side Cobo. He simply didn't like it, so instead he just always played AK. And I mean, I had the same on some maps, especially Inferno T-side is a map where I really don't like playing the AWP all too much. So maybe that's a decision based off of that for Little. But here, the push comes in. Sviat has not checked the corner, but Hobbit still gets found. Sviat takes down Adrian as well as Seized. Now picks up Jerry. Doja moving in with the MP9, but quickly gets dropped. And now in the 2 versus 4 situation here, Mo wants to hang on to that AWP and Seized. There's really no reason to die for him either, Tom.
Yeah, I think this is definitely something that Gambit are going to have to be more prepared for, because it was actually something that was said in the interview with Jerry, that it's not really a map that they play, but they were throwing in a lot more sort of like pug-style plays, like aggressive plays. Like they're just a couple of pop flashes running straight out onto the site and just taking the fights. And the fact is, if they can catch Gambit off guard the same way they did versus North, then they actually do have a decent chance in this game. At least individually, they look sound yesterday. They were taking the fights versus, like, what, some of the best Danish players like put into a roster. So the fact that Gambit, basically what I'm saying is Gambit can't go into this just like, easy day at the office, like, this is just going to be another one of those games that we can just walk over. They do have to be genuinely careful here.
Yeah, most definitely. And what we also saw yesterday was AZ actually winning a buttload of clutches. And I would say Doja is probably one of the most cerebral players in clutch situations on the CSGO scene. So if he gets into the 1 versus 3s or something like that AZ did yesterday, I'm sure he might even have a better win rate in those situations.
T-side already going to take quite a bit of control over towards the A side of the map. They've left FaceCrack posted up as the lurker for this team. Just making sure that nobody can go too aggressive. And actually, they have brought in the double orb set up fairly early on. Hobbit going to be alone on the B site with much heavier presence over towards A. Now, that's something we've seen from Gambit quite a lot in the past, and are very happy to do it at the moment. Just going for these heavier gambles over towards the A site, like throwing players in once the initial utility is thrown out by this T side. Now, if it works, obviously it's great. But the fact is, because they've only got that AWP further back, although I say that Hobbit has now aggressed. I was going to say, if he sits back, then this becomes a bit more of a problem, because they can't rotate until they're basically all the way out onto the plat. But because he's more aggressive, he actually now nets a lot of information, and they can keep these 3 players over towards this A side of the map where the Ts are gathering up. 40 seconds left here. Jerry. Oh, they're going to set up, and actually Dosia will take the initiative. He even sprays down a couple. That's going to put a thorn in their side, and it seems like they're trying to react now to some of the plays that are being made, and going to go for a quick push back towards the B site. However, the drop will be heard by Hobbit. At least it should be, yeah. However, he is looking like he's setting up for more of a retake play with the rest of the team. He's actually going to be spotted. Doesn't expect FaceCrack to go out through the door. And that seems like a bit of a mistake. Maybe he didn't hear the sound. The bomb will get onto the site with just seconds left to spare. And it is now going to have to be a retake for Gambit. Not quite there on the read. They do still have the advantage in terms of personnel and a decent amount of utility as well, which is something the Ts have none of. The question is, can they actually get themselves back into this site? Smoke will hold them out a little bit. Seized is going to throw the incendiary back in. FaceCrack spots the scope and manages to take down one more, leaving it into a 2 versus 2. But this long flank from Adren could make things interesting. The fact is, he's the only one left, and he doesn't have a kit. A 4 versus 2. I have no idea how forZe have just got away with that, and Adren's even going to go down at the end.
What I talked about yesterday when we saw the Red Reserve Hellraisers game was that Red Reserve played a really bad T-side because they struggled with balancing. So it seemed like when they would go to one side, they would never really care to throw any nades on the opposite side. So it was really easy to read what they were doing. I feel like this was the exact same. They didn't really throw any grenades force on the B plateau or on B, and they didn't have any map control there. So Hobbit was just watching it with AWP, and they could heavily stack around A. A really, really bad round, actually, from FaZe. Oh, not FaZe. forZe, of course. Close enough. But they still managed to win that 2 versus 4. And again, it's off the back of FaceCrack, who so far has probably had the most impactful kills of any player on the server.
The only man, I think, with any contention to that prize is currently boosted up in towards this drop position. Now, the buy is not a good one from the CT side. A bit more of a jumble sale. Scooby going to be rounding the corner and instantly remove Seized from that boost spot. Already looking bleak because of that. I think he needed to win that opening duel. Now in a 5 versus 4, and only Hobbit and Mo with any real weaponry. Dosia has the Shredder, and Adren, well, he's got that trusty CZ. I'm not going to doubt that for a second. The question is now, T's just going to be slowing things right down. They know they have the advantage, whichever site they decide to push. Still just going to be throwing a lot of utility in over towards B. Still got Sviat waiting just in case there is any extra aggression, of course. And well, now Hobbit looking to take some initiative himself, but FaceCrack again. Entries onto the site, trying to hold down drop will be Dosia, and although Mo will be able to get one, it is on to him. And Adren, who's going to be up close, drops the bomb. Mo actually finds another. Maybe they're looking to do a 2 versus 4 of their own, as the rotation will come back in from the remaining T players. Boost onto the tree, but he's actually given the bomb over. That's quite risky. There's a high chance this could actually be dropped. Adren, he's walking round above his opponent. There's the bomb onto the floor. There's only 9 seconds left on the clock, and Jerry has to go for this kill. Running towards his opponent, has no idea. Mo misses the shot, and actually Jerry kills him with the Glock. All Mo needed to do was survive, but it's over on the last second that the T's win that round.
Okay, I mean, what a crazy round. The bomb gets dropped up on the plat. I mean, in the end, it doesn't really matter because he gets the first kill and the second guy downs him. The bomb is up on the plat, but with so low time, Jerry has to make a play anyway, right? But he actually thinks that Mo has somehow retracted out through the doors, and that was not the case. So with Mo missing that no-scope, that's when Jerry, grabs onto the fact that Mo was actually closer than first anticipated, and somehow manages to pick him off with the Glock. Not a pretty round, but in the end, they all count.
Yeah, I genuinely thought that Gambit were about to win a 4v2 straight back. That was literally just Adren and Mo on the site. Yeah, a real chance for Gambit to break straight back versus their opponent. Instead, forZe now have a huge advantage in terms of economy. Not wanting to lose too many players here, and Adren peeking versus the AWP of Little. He's not going to miss that shot. Well, CT side, they've gone for a bit of a stack over towards the B side, but the thing is, 3 players on B, it's not even that much of a stack. I'd say it's fairly standard.
A bit of a bait setup here between Hobbit and Ocean. It actually works out perfectly. In the meantime, Seized on another part of the map finds a kill, and now Hobbit doubles down. The only thing that can really win the teased around now is if Sviat goes and locks the rotation, and that's what he's exactly trying to do. If he somehow picks up Seized here and calls Little over to the A bomb site, they might still have a chance in this.
Little. He's just going to be waiting patiently. He's been spotted. Hobbit has managed to retrieve rifle. Of course, there's not even any Kevlar in this round for the CT side. Bomb is going to be rotating in. Not a whole lot of time left, and I think the CTs have now realized exactly what's going on. Can they stop Little from crossing? That's the big thing. It could come down to it again, and that's the bomb dropped. Sviat, he has to just try and kill everyone. There's no way. Gambit have just stolen around from absolutely nothing, and they know it. They'll just hold on to the AK-47s. Again, this is just like weird scenarios coming in over the last couple of rounds, but that was impressive from Gambit nonetheless.
I don't really understand why Little would run through mid in that situation. I guess it's because maybe he's afraid that someone is out in Matrix or the A-long area there, because Sviat went through mid, and so he knows that that part of the map is clear, but it's much safer and much longer duels if he just runs through A-long. So it's kind of hard for Little to know, I guess, but still that could have been what changed the outcome of that round, and instead it will be Gambit with a close to full eco round, actually. But the good bait setup on the B side came through, and with that, Hobbit got one and then the second afterwards.
There's been a few situations now where both of these teams have been left with an advantage, and neither has really clasped onto it. You have to remember, forZe won themselves the pistol, instantly lost the follow-up round. We still sit 4-4, but I feel like either side at this point could be in a much more dominant position. Little is going to be boosted up.
He can even see the guy in the backside. I mean, it was possible for him to spot him, I think. But because it's only like a pixel and such a uncommon angle to be in mid-round, he didn't actually notice that there was a guy there.
Yeah, utility getting pretty low now for Gambit. Face crack is going to be trying to make a play. He's been winning a lot of these duels, and Hobbit is sat with the grenade in hand. It will bounce right onto his opponent, doing a lot of damage, but does Hobbit know he's this close? He does, but actually face crack wins the battle anyway. This guy is on fire at the moment, trying to drag his team through, kicking and screaming. 25 seconds left on the clock as the bomb looks to cross towards the site. Seized is here. Dosia already falls, and the remaining players are there, but they've got to get rid of the man in the backlines. That's exactly what Seized will do, but it may not matter. Mo running in onto the site, 2 targets, takes the first, doesn't manage the second. Face crack continues his reign, and now Seized is left 1 versus 2, both players fairly low, but he is the same. Scooby will spot him out. Now the T's, they do have themselves all of the information. In fact, FaceCrack seems like he already has a pistol in hand, potentially knowing that his opponent is low and it won't matter. Scooby closes it, a bounce back once again from forZe, and the money in the same position for Gambit. A couple of players can buy, or 3 in fact, and the remaining 2 will just have to go for some pistols.
Really crazy round again from FaceCrack. He's up to 10 kills and all of them have just had insanely high impact, right? So he opens up, and then I think it's actually Scooby to get the follow-up by pushing the speedway. I mean, Jerry got a kill over on the A bomb site, but the follow-up kill on the B bomb site was Scooby with a really, really vital kill. So a lot of credit goes to him as well. And we'll see what they do here. Not a contact play, it looks like the good old Hellraiser's strat, where you push up mid with some flashes, and with that, the CT, or the T side, will try to gain some ground. Instead, Mo gets dropped from behind, and Adrian and doja, they combine brilliantly, or will they? No, they will not. Jerry is actually the one to win that fight. And now the T side, they might even second guess themselves here. Jerry gets dropped by Seized, and it's all left to sviat and Little.
And they're going to give Little a bit of time to try and find a pick, and well, he doesn't need much at all already. Removes Seized. Now, Hobbit still seems a little bit skeptical as to whether or not they could back around towards the B side. The fact is, forZe have been pretty happy to go for rotations. Adren up above. Bit of an off angle, so open that may not be expected, although Little rounding the corner isn't going to spot him out. Adren, 3rd kill of the round, and it's left all onto sviat with the UMP. Instant dink from Adren, still going strong, and he knows it as well. Doesn't really need to take the fight here. His teammate is still not in play yet to trade, and actually Adren slightly over peaking now leaves it into the 1 versus 1. Hobbit with an inherent advantage, especially because eventually sviat has to go crossing to the site. The fact is, though, Hobbit doesn't seem to know whether or not he has moved just yet. 12 HP on sviat, and it won't matter. Hobbit will close the round anyway. This game is just going backwards and forwards again and again. No up save, and the T's, well, they're going to be forcing, but the CTs really aren't that much better off.
Now, some really, really close rounds coming in here, and a pretty sick off angle from Adrian there. The balls on that man to go up into the high ground with only 50 HP. I think his reasoning was that he thought the AWP would be the first to search, like he was before, and he was correct and was rewarded with a kill. The second follow-up headshot onto sviat, I think it was pretty crazy, but could not close out the round by himself. Needed the help of Hobbit, who did so brilliantly. That puts us at 5-5 here on Cobblestone, and I think if I do remember correctly, forZe got a lot of T-sided rounds versus North, and actually struggled a bit on the CT side. They had a few clutches, if I'm not mistaken, and even had a force by a win. So if forZe don't pick up some more T-sided rounds soon, I think they might be in trouble. In trouble they are, it seems, as Mo takes down 2 of the unarmored opponents. Tries to get a 3rd one, but not possible this time around, as Jerry takes his head off with the CZ, the pistol that we've seen come into play so many times in this tournament already, with pretty good kill percentage. And Jerry still lurking around the A bomb site, tries to find doja as well, and even wins that fight with his CZ. Now this pistol, a $500 investment, and I can't even begin to comprehend how much money, how much value he has stolen away from Gambit with those 2 kills.
Yeah, now the bomb actually going to be going towards B individually. The Hobbit has had enough of this sort of playing, while Adren has now dropped the bomb as well. So shouldn't be any hope left for Jerry in this round. And the fact is, really, he just wants to die. He doesn't want to go for anything more into this, obviously only having a CZ. And Kevlar, the team, looking just, well, I don't know. Buying into this isn't even going to be a particularly good one. They'll have some AKs, and I suppose if they drop their head armor, they could get an extra couple if they really wanted to, but it's definitely not going to be a good buy. I suppose if you look at the CTs, though, those extra couple of kills actually have done enough that a reset is still on the cards.
Yeah, it's most definitely true. And doja, with only 4 kills in 11 rounds, seems pretty bad, but if you think about the fact that he also has 5 assists, He's actually doing a pretty decent job, as is the case for every player on Gambit right now. It seems like they are evening out the kills quite well, and these grenades on the B plateau, they are just doing a lot of damage. Hobbit gonna be caught again. It's face crack with the entry. Little follows up onto Adrian, and that's a two men down here on the B bomb site from the CT side. A one-man advantage, of course. Jerry in the back lines as always, does not win the fight, but Little soon trades. And now Doja with a second kill as well, as Sviat in the 2 versus 1. Going to be looking for Mo. Does have the Molotov to clear out the rock, or even excluding something, but Mo decides to take the reins of the round and tries to see if he can make a play. Not quite sure where Sviat is, though. And instead, it's going to be Sviat. Peeks up at the perfect timing and takes down Mo. So that's a 1 versus 2, and Sviat, I mean, we saw some impressive rounds from him yesterday where he just completely destroyed everyone with his amazing aim. But right now, I feel like we're seeing that extra dimension here from the Russian player.
Well, he was the guy who every once in a while you'd just be sat there. It's like, Sviat's gone a little bit quiet, isn't he? And then it would just be, he'd get 4 kills. And it would just be something silly, like spraying down 3 with a FAMAS. Or you would just look at it and go, how and where did that come from? But, well, still, nobody has managed to take a convincing lead in this game. We sit 6-6, and well, Gambit, they've had to go for a forZe with the spray. Doesn't actually do as much damage as you might think. Only 33 done, and while the T's are just going to look to try and run onto his position, the spray is wild and doesn't catch any real damage. The T's are now going to get themselves onto the site, and well, the remaining players don't even have rifles. It's SMGs and a couple of pistols. By the looks of it, they may just try and save and bring something into the next round at least, but yeah, forZe change of pace. I do have to say, for a map that they don't play, the calls that they're making, I think are pretty damn solid.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, this strat that, I mean, is usually known as the Hellraiser strat. It's also such a simple execution. Basically, all you have to do is you have to use a few flashes that go over the door, and usually on the first flash you take the kind of, yeah, the mid, like the middle portion, not the ramp, but yeah, whatever you even call that. I don't think it really has a proper call-out. Some people call it water, because there used to be water on the old cobblestone. But let's call it water. So on the first flash you take water, and on the second flash you burst out of the mid-main, or whatever you'd even call it, and then you rush up the mid-ramp. And usually, when you are a more well-structured team with more strats and a team that actually plays cobblestone, you also have a smoke in the doors. They do not have that, so they throw it while they run, and that's already a case of them obviously not playing cobblestone, and therefore their execution being a bit worse, but it's a really powerful strat. And in this case, when there's only one A player, it's basically an unstoppable strat. We see the flashes being lined here. It's the first flash, he gets the second, and there's no way he can dodge these flashes pretty much, and instantly goes down. So another good decision here from them. Now 3 players on the A bomb site, but the bomb is heading towards B, it seems, and this is all just a big ruse.
I like it. Playing with Gambit. They are going to get themselves this bomb down with no contestation at all. Gambit have fallen for the ploy, and, well, to be honest, they don't even have much to go back into the round with. Just try and maybe get an exit or 2. Even saving the armor could be nice for someone like Mo wanting to get that AWP, and face crack just looking to pad his stats on anybody who does look to try and come around on the flank. But yeah, not a point of damage taken so far for forZe, and yeah, just a smart round.
Yeah, I mean, some people would say that it's a somewhat flawed CS philosophy to try to run a fake versus full eco pistols.
Yeah.
But in this case, it works out great, right? They instantly killed off the only weapon in the round for the CTs, the UMP. When it gets dropped, every rotation happens because they want to try to just stack a bomb site, and instead the bomb just waltzes into to the B site. They do recover the UMP eventually, but at that point the round is already lost, and it's just another great call from forZe.
Yeah, props to IGL.
Yeah.
That's little, isn't it?
You should get like a Medal of Honor. I talked to Jerry actually yesterday, and he said, I'm not even sure. I think he said that he might even be calling sometimes, but at this event, it is little. or something like that. But they help each other, I think, especially on a map like Cobble, which is such a pug-heavy map and where they don't really have any, you know, executes. They just call together, but I think Little has the last say, and to me that makes a lot of sense with him being the oldest and the most experienced of the lot.
Well, back with a buy are Gambit. The best they can hope for is 7 on this CT side. Definitely look like forZe may not have been a fluke yesterday when we saw them play versus North. Already, Hobbit will find himself the entry. Managed to fall back as well. Does take a nasty tag, and you have to remember the CT side don't have a huge amount of utility in this round. In fact, all of it currently sits on Seized, who has put himself down to just a UMP. Because of this, we're going to see a few more aggressive angles out from this CT side. Not wanting to allow some executions to come in, although there's only a singular smoke left on forZe. They've got some Molotovs, but I imagine that smoke's going to have to go into the door. So there's definitely going to be some gaps available for Gambit to play with. Pot Flash is going to be coming in to try and remove some of the angles and peek in, but Dosia will win the battle. Second player push, but the flashbang holds him back. Viat will eventually trade, but they've still got to clear off Mo. He's the man who's just in their way. 20 seconds left on the clock, and they really need to get their move on, and the rotation is already in. Finally, Little will remove Mo from action, but the problem is they've still got to deal with Adren on the site and Seize with that UMP. 8 and 7, as close as it gets, but forZe will at least take themselves the half.
So a bit sloppy there from I keep wanting to call him FaZe. From forZe, of course, we've seen them do a few A executes, I guess you can say, with the Hellraiser strat, and it's been working out quite well. In this round, they slow down the pace, and everything just falls apart. It ends up being a round where, even though they have the money advantage going into it, they have the superior utility, and even, you know, a full buy. Doja doesn't get properly traded, and at the same time, because they are so slow to get onto the site, the smoke in the doors fades, and it ends up just being, yeah, I mean, a big kerfuffle. I don't know if I'm even using that word right. I stole it from Tom.
Yeah, a big kerfuffle. Julie's in a kit.
Julie's in a kit.
Julie's in a kit.
Get it trending on Twitter, guys.
I love
Julie's in a kit.
Julie's in a kit. Come on, Jerry. He genuinely is, not only like personality-wise, but also his purchases make me very happy as well. So I'm a Jerry fan. Obviously, I do normally chase him around like the little mouse. So yeah.
Whatever, Tom.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, there you go. All right.
That joke. Let's kick that into the ground.
But we actually see a heavy A stack coming in again, and this time they don't really have any info. They know the T's have taken the map control on A, but they instantly gave it up. And
We
now
got Julie's in a kit cam.
Julie's in a kit cam. Oh man, Scooby under a lot of pressure. Julie's in a kit coming in only with one. Scooby with two though. Two amazing headshots there, and he has got it all to do here on the B bomb side as his teammates are quickly falling now. FaceCrag, the man of the match for me so far. Once again, opening it up. Hobbit in a world of trouble and gets taken down by Little in the back lines. Really, really sick from Scooby, and really, really sick from the Doolies and the kit.
Julie's in a kit, yeah. So that is now actually both pistols going the way of forZe, although they did lose the second round.
Yeah, so the first one barely counts.
Yeah. They didn't get the follow-up, so that's the big thing. We'll see if they can here and kick themselves off to a better start, because if they do it again and let Gambit off the hook, because that's the thing. I feel like they are letting Gambit off the hook in quite a lot of the rounds that we see some, like that pistol round that came in, the sort of awful one that just should never have happened with only CZs. Little is already going to start things off with a tag onto Mo.
But I mean, 4 CZs, in my book, that's probably superior to 3 SMGs and a
rifle. They got shredders.
Yeah, but the CZ, bro.
Shredders are better. MP9 Nation.
I buy the shredder to get the cheddar.
MP Nation. There you go.
MP Nation. All right, man. Whatever you say, dog. It sounds so cool when you say dog instead of dog. Yeah,
no,
I think it says
not when you say.
Yeah, no, it's dog. Whatever, dog.
Oh God.
9 to 7 though, and a very slow round actually. Interestingly enough, with these pistols, Doja, the only guy who's able to even fight at range, and Scooby messes up the flash a bit, but will not cost him. A late drop boost, not something you really see that often in professional play, but here it is, and he might be rewarded for it. Face crack with one and seized. Somehow hits the jumping CZ up close.
Not broken.
But yeah, definitely not broken. And we see it here, the fast drop acceleration. I really like this. The bomb is moving its way all the way up to the A bomb site, and in the meantime, the split is actually going to come in from Connector. doja wins this fight. That could be all, but instead it's Adrian with another very important frag. Jerry, a lot of low HP players here, and this Molotov could be gifting him one of those. Adrian burning low, and Mo should be dropping. Scooby looks like a guy who's playing with a million sensitivity sometimes, and sometimes that's good enough for the kill as long as the player is on 10 HP and you've got an SG. doja takes down Sviat, and that puts the pressure onto the CTs once again, but Jerry with that kill onto Seized, and probably the second onto Adrian soon. A headshot though, and no kit. So Jerry gotta stay true to his teammate here, just protect him all he can. But doja, 3 seconds, and he does just barely catch him in time. Only 2 seconds left, and imagine if he hadn't reloaded his deagle, or if he was out of bullets. I think his M4 would have also then been out of bullets, and I think it might have even been too late.
No.
Yeah, but would he have even had time? Would he put on the rocket shoes?
doja always has time.
Okay. Well, yeah, sorry, I forgot.
He moves almost as fast as Neo.
No one can move as fast as Neo.
Here we go, though. Second time it's happened. They won the pistol, lost the second round. They've let Gambit off. And now, well, we'll see if the CT side can return in tune with their opponents. Now, a little bit of money seemingly saved by Sviat. Only a deagle and a smoke. Scooby has been purchasing up that UMP, see if he can do some damage there and make a little bit of extra money for himself at least. Of course, on the other side, they do have 3 rifles, a lot more utility, and a couple of SMGs to try and make some cash of their own. We're actually going to see this boost once again. Now, they did this in the previous round, so I feel like Hobbit is someone who will learn from his mistakes if they actually do opt to go through that smoke. And actually, oh, do it.
Ooh. But that's the clever part. He's not standing up, so now Hobbit throws the molo, he peeks up, should be getting the kill. That's just really smart play from the deadly duo of Sviat and FaceCrack here in the drop zone area.
Hobbit has just been brained on, but on the other side of the map, we're going to have a quick push up towards this A site. Rotation is coming in. FaceCrack is the only man on site. He's been good so far, sticking true to the 5-7, but he'll actually be going down. Scooby will be there to get the trade. Bomb on the site itself, and trying to hold off rotations will be seized. He's playing very close to the door. I don't think they're going to expect anybody to be this close, and in fact, he has just shut the round down. Sviat has himself a deagle alongside the MAC-10, doesn't have any armor, so definitely not going to be easy to find anything in this round. And Gambit should have this one dead to rights.
But a kill on Seized here would not be bad, especially if it comes from the MAC-10, $600. It's a lot of money, Tom. If someone said, you can have $600...
What, to kill someone?
Yeah, I would instantly do it.
Like
I would instantly do it.
You're pretty cheap. You're a cheap assassin.
Yeah. Unfortunately, no one wants to ever pay me for anything.
What about, like, Ugandan dollars?
I would maybe reconsider.
What if it was me that you were killing? You do it for free.
I would never reconsider. I would instantly do it.
Them.
Yeah.
For the pleasure.
For the pleasure.
So
Nice.
This one's on the house.
I just want to say that Seized is up to 100 ADR. I'm not saying that I predicted him to do well, but I actually didn't. I just said he plays well on Cobble.
That you predicted that he would do well.
Yeah, and that's actually the real hard thing.
That's what you call top tier analysis, when you throw someone else under the bus, so that then if they are wrong, then it's not your fault, and you can still give an opinion. It's genius.
Okay, I'll try that.
He's just like a foot above the rest.
Do you think? Oh, I don't know. This is something that's... I don't know. I feel like sometimes, you know, especially in these rounds where it's just like they're playing versus ecos, right? I feel like sometimes, Tom, we really like to test the limits of what's like okay to say on air.
Well, we haven't been taken off air, so we haven't hit the limits yet.
Okay. Well, do you think if Dust?
Oh God, is this where you really test the limits?
Okay. You know what? You know what, Tom? You lost the opportunity to hear this really bad joke. That's fine. Let's just focus on the game, okay, Tom? We need to be professionals. You know what that word even means?
No.
No, me neither. But I figure it's got something to do with acting like a nice guy. Yeah. So.
No, but nice guys finish last.
It's true, but if it's, you know, a huge cake, for example, maybe you get to enjoy it later than the others because you finish it last.
Because everybody knows that enjoying stuff later is how it's done.
Exactly, man.
But maybe I like to tease myself.
Oh man, let's hope that forZe stops teasing Gambit here in this match. Oh, let's actually hope they can tease them instead. Adrian, not really one to have a playful game of that sort. Instead, he just... Yeah?
He's the playful one.
Oh yeah, okay. He's the playful one. Imagine like... You know, there's people that have cool nicknames, and imagine if your nickname was the playful one. Good shot by Little, actually. Ooh. 2 great shots from him. Hobbit and Adrian. It's pretty sick from Little. Not really the guy we'd normally see with a rifle. Especially not the silenced M4 of all rifles, but does actually do quite well there. Doesn't just pick up the one, picks up the second as well. The first shot, I think it was on Hobbit even. He was jumping away with his back turn, and somehow he hit the head.
Well, that's the thing. I've seen Little use a rifle like whenever like he's forced to, and it doesn't seem like he's a bad rifler at all. I just wonder if either A, he's stubborn, or B, he just wonders that if he just starts using the rifle, eventually people going, oh, we don't need to save up for that AWP. You can just rifle, right? But if he just goes, oh, I don't know how to rifle, then every time let's be like, okay, let's make sure that Little gets his AWP. It's genius.
I mean, he's probably forZe, or he was forZe's most impactful player yesterday in the match, and that was down to the fact that he had an AWP and, you know, won clutches, just got entries everywhere. Because the economy has been in ruins for the most of this match, and especially now here on the CT side, he's just not had the possibility of actually picking up the AWP, which is by far his best weapon. But I mean, sometimes we even see him prefer the P250 over playing rifles, it seems. And
I hate that.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I mean, at
least choose the CZ.
Yeah, okay. In the current day and age of Counter-Strike, you should honestly pick the CZ over any other weapon, and we see 2 of his teammates do
Clearly
exactly
you haven't
that.
used the Negev recently.
No, that's true. I think actually the Zeus is really underrated, but unfortunately you can't use it on FaceIt, so I ended my subscription. Yeah, I have very strong feelings about the Zeus.
That's what it took. You can't use that $200 shocker.
Shocker. Yeah, very shocking, right? This smoke is fancy. And we see the Hellraiser strat basically once again now from the Gambit team.
That flash did not work. It bounced all the way back. That one did, but it doesn't matter because forZe gets the kill anyway. And a second high impact from him. And while it is only the weapons that they saved in the previous round, Little's going to get hit with the Molotov, and forZe is just destroying everyone. 3 kills from him, leaving Scooby looking for scraps. He's only on 14 HP. Can't really expect too much from him here, and dosia is just going to be waiting to hold any sort of cross. And basically here just hoping that somebody will try and push through the murder hole and then hand him a weapon.
Yeah, and on the other hand, dosia is hoping that Scooby pushes through the murder hole to try to get the M4. Did not happen, but because he stepped when he fell down from the box instead of crouching down, instantly dead. But now, Little going to be picking up the AWP, his favorite weapon of all time, and his teammates now on their first full buy, I'd say, here in the second half of Cobblestone. And we're looking to see Little step up here in that right time.
Yeah, no, we haven't get to see this AWP yet on the CT side. I think a lot of that comes down to just them not being able to follow up those rounds after the pistol. Let's go for a little bit of early aggression, but the spray through the smoke is going to force him back. Actually, CT side looking like they're going to go for some aggression. That nade was dirty. Scooby already down to 45 HP and yet to see a single opponent. Got to be infuriating. Mo going to be set up on that sort of counter-AWP. Expecting aggression. That's the one thing. Like the AWP for Mo is actually going to be more vital here, I feel, because forZe, when we saw a lot of their plays on the CT side, a lot of it revolved around aggression. They were trying to take fights versus North, and it seems like the T's are more than prepared for that, just falling into a default, waiting for any aggression to come out, slowly clearing angles. Jerry is in a little bit of an off, but in the drop already. Now face crack falls, and this actually causes a few rotations. The Molotov forces Scooby out and leaves only 3 players remaining. Jerry will at least be able to return, but now the T's are going to go pushing in on towards the side. Fiat left completely blind, and the remaining 2 players are left to just hold on to what they can. A 13th round will come in for Gambit, and as you said, the T side yesterday definitely looked better for forZe. And the CT side, well, we're yet to see it.
The funny thing is, coming into this match, I really hyped Seized in the drop. Apparently, since I played them last time on Cobble, Seized is not playing drop anymore. I mean, right now he's defaulting towards A, and Hobbit is instead playing in the drop. And I think it was it Blair that mentioned that Hobbit had written on Twitter that now he needed to focus more on his own game? Perhaps that's why.
Yeah,
Perhaps they... Was that you?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. I never give you any credit.
No. Credit for reading Twitter.
Yeah.
Oh!
I mean, that's probably one of your biggest accomplishments.
No,
Let's not kid the viewers.
That's why I'm employed. I can read.
Okay,
Actually,
no one else I can do.
No one else can. No one else can. I'm the only person in this on this talent lineup that can read.
Nice. I can only read people, and you are a bad guy. No, but nice that Jerry and Little managed to hang on to their weaponry. It means that another buy coming in for the CTs, and it's not just a force buy of sorts with a bunch of pistols. It's actually 3 rifles and an AWP. Face crack, the star of the match so far, at least here on the force side, down to the UMP. But with how well he's been moving around the map and entry fragging here, the UMP might not even be the worst of weapons to go for. And Jerry actually doing a really good job at keeping the terrorists at bay. He might even do a ton of damage here. But he's playing A alone right now, and he's been doing it for the whole round. And on 110, just now are the T's starting to take proper map control. And because of that, they are going to rotate one over, so...
He looks a bit like a Russian AZ.
That's actually very true.
Maybe it's the same person.
Yeah, okay. It probably is, to be honest. It would make perfect sense.
Confirmed.
But it's nice, you see her. So Jerry has been playing A alone, and because of that, Little has been able to play towards the B bomb site. But now that they took the A control, they instead stacked heavily. Now they've changed their setup, right? But they could stack heavily on A because it's unlikely that they were just taking control on A and then falling back on B instantly, right? So now we see the setup here. Dosha hits absolutely ludicrous shot onto Little. Instead, it's now Jerry, the guy that was playing A solo before, pretty much plays A solo again. And Jerry picks up not just 1, but 2, even a third as well from Jerry. 19 HP, could even find another. Does not quite do it, but because of him and his ability to just stay alive, it means that Doja and Adrian will drop. And that's a round that forZe get off the back of individual brilliance. And that was really the theme of yesterday as well versus North, at least on some of the maps, especially Inferno. Yeah, on Inferno it was definitely the case, but holding down the fort like that is a very impressive feat, and Jerry steps up when they need him the most.
Well, the biggest thing here is the bomb as well. Like that just causes sheer panic for the remaining 2 players, and yeah, there was no way they came back from that with the amount of time that was left on the clock. So they've at least broken back once. However, still enough money, or plenty of money for a repurchase from the T side, so the foot will not come off the gas from Gambit just yet. And by the looks of things, they're setting up fairly early for a bit of a play towards this B site. Flash in, and Scooby left completely blind up on the tree, and he's not going to get too much done. Little on the site now has to try and hold down the fort alone. He's done some damage, but not managing to take the kill. Luckily, softened them up for zviat. Seized. He's back in that drop position. Let's see if he can make the play, but doesn't actually expect the player below him. This time he will falter, and it's Mo to try and fight back here. Him and Hobbit, the only two remaining, and they have just been left stuck on this plat, trying to find a way back into this round. The fact is, the CT side don't really need to peek here. Jerry's going to go aggressive, and Mo is going to punish, turning things back into a 2 versus 2. Little is still here, holding the angle. Mo waiting, both players. No one wants to peek, and actually Hobbit is going to be the one to do it instead, slowly turning the tide and leaving it on to just zviat in a 1 versus 2. All of his teammates have fallen around him, and I'm actually going to go for Bogdan's strategy, but Hobbit will die anyway. It's left onto Mo. 1 versus 1. Peeks out, and zviat holds it down. Again, a big play from this man to keep them going. Again, a lot of damage done. And, well, again, there's another buy coming from Gambit.
Crazy that that round gets so close. I think it was a 4 versus 2 in favor of the CTs, and the terrorists are just stuck on plat. It's the grenade usage even was decent from forZe. I would have loved to see Little do a like jumping grenade through the legs of the statue. That would have been probably the sickest I would have ever seen in Counter-Strike. But I mean, he tagged up Hobbit, right? It would have been super sick. Sometimes, you know, I just wish these players played only for the highlights. I think that would make for some really incredible matches. Yeah, of course. There's no reason not to. But Scooby, this time, I mean, we talked about him and his double AWPing in forZe, and he hasn't really had much success previously, but now, here it comes in, he gets the entry frag even. Once again, takes a grenade to the face that drops him to 49. Jerry, again, just playing towards A, and I'm actually really liking it. You see it here, he's just jiggle peeking the corners with the smoke in hand so that if he gets contact, he can instantly smoke himself off. And now instead, he's going to go aggressive, try to get some map control, and I'm really liking that. He's making sure that Little can now rotate over to the B bomb site and they can play double AWP on the B bomb site. Unfortunately, they've lost drop zone. Because of that, it looks like Little is actually staying a bit over towards the A bomb site. Face crack opens up onto Hobbit. Adrian with the return, Scooby with another one from the AWP, and now zviat and Scooby under a lot of pressure. It's going to be Jerry and zviat together with Dozia's Molo to pick up the last 3 kills of the round. And that puts us now at 13 to 12, Tom, in favor of Gambit. Gambit, it looks like they even should consider, yeah, they're just going to go for a half buy, it seems.
Mac Daddy Dozia. Yeah, the last few rounds have been very, very convincing from forZe. 3 rounds back to back, and although they've still had some costs incurred, they have managed to string them together and bring themselves back into the game. It definitely looked like the CT side was going to run away from them after the 6-round streak. Jerry up close, but 2 quick kills from the T side. They're looking to try and do things with the pistol. The nade is good, and face crack will be able to turn the tide, but it's still going to be back into a 2 versus 2. Seized with the rifle, but not for long. And Dozia with that MAC-10 manages 1, but he's so low on HP. The nade may even finish him down to just 5. Surely there's no way he gets away with this, but Dozia, the MAC-10 is enough. He was so low, but it won't matter. They win another round. I swear, every time forZe give themselves an advantage, they throw it away.
Little looks like a broken man.
It almost looks like one of those like insane people rocking backwards and forwards, just like laughing, just like ha ha ha, everything's fine, ha 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 ha. I'm gonna kill everyone.
Just like, not on the opposite team.
Yeah, it's just like he's laughing through the pain.
Yeah,
because that is now both pistols they've won, but they've lost an anti-eco. They lost a round to just like CZs and no armor, and now they've lost one which was a MAC-10 and a few CZs again. Like they really have thrown away a lot of rounds.
But I'm curious if it's them misreading the economy or them just making a really bad decision here, because they decide to play with a rifle up close to CZs coming through the door. If if Jerry even gets like pretty much the perfect timing on when he should turn, because if a flash had been there, he would instantly get wrecked, right? But he even gets the perfect timing, and even with the perfect timing, all he manages is 1 kill, then he dies, he gives away his rifle, and I mean, that was even kind of the best case scenario. I think even another player got picked up by Little's AWP, but I'm hoping they misread the economy and it wasn't like a real decision to play up close like that in mid versus pistols. That seems crazy to me, at least.
Well, forZe have been forced to forZe, because they do not have much going into this one. Adrian already going to be picking up 1, and the trade's just going in the favor of Gambit. Smoke, well, it's not going to work, but it won't matter. Jerry on the flank is caught by Seized, and we hit 15 and 12, and now the CT side are in real trouble. It's their chance to try and fight things back versus pistols. They have to do what Gambit have done to them so many times, but I feel like if you take away so many of these mistakes from forZe, they could actually have won this comfortably. Like that's the scary thing. Obviously, you have to give credit to Gambit for being able to win those rounds and have the individual skill to just take them and the strategy at the same time, but there's been so many mistakes.
I have to agree, but at the same time, you can't exclude one team's mistakes and then not, you know, think about the rounds that forZe have won. They've been winning their clutches, right? Yeah, they've been winning their clutches. I think they even had a force buy win and stuff like that. So if Gambit had made their errors and forZe hadn't, of course, in my opinion, they would have won comfortably. But at the same time, as it stands, it's just been a bit of a roller coaster ride. It's usually both teams not really playing well, but both teams messing up when it's such a back and forth game. Hasn't been so much here in the second half, but in the first half at least it was very... There were a lot of force buy wins and the likes. But here on the T side, Gambit have been able to string quite a few rounds together at times. Doja looking to do it all. Instead it's Sviat and Little. They find 1 apiece, and now Sviat up close even dinks up Seized. And Hobbit, this kill could be everything, and he misses. Scooby with the Deagle up close. The 2 body hits is enough at that range. Now 30 seconds left on the clock. They are going to go just for a fast rotation. They must have been heard in Dragon Law, I'm sure. Because of that, Little is now rotating onto the A-bomb site. Playing hotspot, not a bad bet. Going into the last 10 seconds of the round, and the T's are just now making their way onto the bomb site. A flash onto the site, 5 seconds left, and the bomb is not being covered. Because of that, the round is over. Unfortunately for FaZe Crack, he can't kill Seized after time. But still, just losing 2 pistols should be surely enough to break your momentum and perhaps even break the mentality of the Gambit players. But again, we see a force buy win. It's these CZs. It seems like they are better than every other weapon in the game right now. It honestly seems like that.
Well, they don't have them this time. They've got themselves a buy back in, although still going to be a couple of SMGs in play. T-side with an eye on everything they need. Maybe a slight limitation to a utility. Little will be taking a slightly more aggressive stance with the AWP, and plenty of players for him to shoot at if the T's are going to be pushing forward. Now Jerry will be up close with the MP9, and actually the T's are looking to just barrel straight up through mid. The fact is, though, T-side will actually have a very fast flank and potentially the best possible retake available to them. Seized is going to look to try and get up nice and close, and they're trying to clear a lot of these angles, expecting there to be someone on the site. The fact is, everybody's just lurking in behind them. And the bomb's going to go down with barely any damage done. Now Little looks to try and peek back in to find a way into the round for his team. The fact is, this is map point on their choice, and Seized as well. Position gets both players down. Now it becomes just a one-pronged retake coming from a singular angle back through that mid position, and it is a slaughter. What a way to close things out. It will be Gambit to take the first map. Definitely not a convincing victory. A great performance from forZe. The fact is now they're gone to the map choice of their opponent, and I don't think things are going to get any easier from here.
No, it should not. But then again, forZe, they lost heavily on their their own map pick in the first match, and now here in their second best of 3 of the tournament.
They actually play Train.
Yeah?
Well, more than Cobble.
Yeah. So they might even have a chance. I mean, maybe they just picked Cobblestone because of the fact that they won it yesterday. And I think that's maybe not the best line of thinking either.
Yeah, I think definitely probably feeling confident in the way that they played yesterday. And the fact is, as I said, like they won both pistols, lost both second rounds. They had a lot of mistakes along the way. If a few of those go the other way, who knows where this match actually goes? As you said, you can say the same for Gambit. Like, they definitely didn't look like the sort of well-structured cobblestone team we've seen in the past. Like, there was a point not too long ago where they were probably the best cobblestone team in the world. But the fact is, they definitely didn't look it here. Okay, they did the job. They got this over the line. And now they're going on to their map choice to make sure that they don't get eliminated. And that's the scary thing. This is a brutal bracket. You lose 2 best of 3s, you are out. That is it done. So forZe, their life is on the line, and they've got to try and turn things around on Train. But as said, it's a map that they should be a little bit more comfortable with. However, they've still got to stand in, and they're still playing against Gambit.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm curious to know when this change with Hobbit and Seized switching in a drop zone, when that happened. I'm curious to know if it's something that happened, right before this match, or if it's like a week ago or something like that. It must be very recent, and that could be why they didn't look as good on Cobble as they usually do.
Well, either way, it is down to the analysts to break this down, but of course that is after just a short ad break.
5 reasons to bet on bets.net. 1. We are not a bookmaker agency. We are a betting exchange. We are fine with any outcome of the event, so we have no reason not to pay your win. The information about the bets is available for everyone in real time. We stand for fair esports. 2. Instant replenishment and withdrawal of funds. No delays, checks, and restrictions. 3. Convenient mobile app on iOS and Android. All site functionality is in your pocket. Bonuses for each user of the app. 4. More than 800,000 people trust us. We are the most visited esports bet site in the CIS. 5. All coefficients are fully transparent and the commission rate is the lowest. We play fair.